Hi everyone, this is Patty Barr. I'm the Director of iCater at the University of Iowa College of Education. Today I want to talk to you about an app that's called MathPaper. It's from Panther Technologies. It's here on the iPad, and I'm just going to open that up. And this is not a calculator. It's not anything except a way to keep track of your math problems if you can't write and keep everything in alignment. You can imagine that when you probably know when you are doing math, it's really important to keep everything aligned, and this is one that will help you do that. So it was originally made for people with motor disabilities, but I think this would be a real nice app for people with organizational difficulties as well. It's $19.99, and let's go ahead and get started. The teacher makes the problems. There are some in-app 99-cent in-app tests that you can do for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. But I don't have those, and I thought I would just show you a couple things here. So basically, I've got an addition, a subtraction, a multiplication, and division problem here. You can do other things with this as well, but I want to just show you, you've got 99 plus 45. So if you're adding those, you're going to go to this square underneath the 9 and the 5, that's 14. So I'm going to go back to home here. I should have been there first. So that's 14. So you put a 4 there, but you want to put the carry. So this button on the top second from the right is going to give us carry features, and we're in addition, so it's going to give me a carry, and I can then put in a 1 because that's what I'm carrying, and then I can add up the 1, the 9, and the 4 and get a 1 and a 4. So I've got 144. So similar when you're doing borrowing in subtraction. Let's go on to the next one. So I need to borrow, so I'm just going to go to this 0 and touch that special key again, and I'm going to borrow. I'm going to borrow, sure I am. It was a 0, it won't let me borrow. I'm going to borrow, and it's not letting me do it. I should have had a different, let's put a 9 in there just for demonstration sakes. So the 9 I should be able to borrow. So let's borrow. There it is. I was just in the wrong place. So that could have been a 100 instead of 190. So I'm going to borrow, and that's going to become an 8. And I've got a 10 minus 8 is 2. I've got an 8 minus 1 is 7. And then I can bring the 1 down. So 172. So now to do a multiplication problem, I'm going to take 4 times 5 is 20. So I'm going to put the 0 here. And I'm going to do a carry, I guess it's called a carry in here. So that was 20, so I'm carrying a 2. So we've got 4 times 4 is 16, plus the 2 is 18. So I can put an 8 here and a 1 here. Then similar with division, I've got, I'm going to go to 3 is into 5 will go once. And I'm going to hit that special key again so that I can do division, and it gives me the little box. Okay, what's left? It's a 2. So then 3 into 28 is what, 9? And I've got a remainder of 1. So how do I put a remainder of 1? There's a couple of other buttons here in the upper left-hand corner. So I've got a more, and I'm going to go back. I've got this one. I'm going to go back one more time. Under the more, we should be able to put a remainder. I know there's a remainder in here. Where is it? There's a nice R. R. And we're going to go back to home and a remainder of 1. So it's 19 remainder 1. So you might think, okay, what else can this program do? There are some things that you can do with fractions, and I'm just going to show you this one with algebra. I'm just going to move this up, and I put the a squared plus b squared equals d squared. There wasn't a c that was in that italics. So if I've got 3 squared plus 4 squared equals d squared, when I'm doing algebra, I do that in a line. So I've got 19 plus 16 equals d squared. So then I'm going to go down to the next line, and I'm going to say 25 equals, and I'm going to go back to my second from the left and put the D, and again second from the left, and there's the X with the 2 on top, and that's going to give me the 2. So I've got 25 equals D squared. So I'm going to say that the square root, so I go back down here and I get a square root sign. Square root of 25 equals D squared. D squared. So I'm going to keep scrolling down just a little bit. So the square root of 25 is 5 equals, and I've got a D equals D. Okay. The same I can do. So it's a little. There's quite a few menus you've got to go to, but just think you could keep that. And if you've got a kid that you can't read their handwriting, they can't keep things in alignment, this could be really, really helpful. Also with fractions, I just want to show you fractions. So I put in this 1/2 plus 1/4 equals something. I put in these extra lines as a scaffold for maybe you've got a student that's having a hard time hitting the keys. This would just help with some of the keystrokes that they would have to have. So I'm just going to touch this one, and because I'd already put in those lines, it's automatically taking me to this other keyboard, and you can see the X on the top. So 1/2, I can change that to 2, and then I can click this one in the to get to the bottom, to the Y part. Let's see if I can. So this, I can get to the Y part, and I'm going to put a 4 in there, and then go back up here to the 1/4. So I'm going to put that in again. So go over here to the 1/4. So that's 1, and click on the one on the bottom, and you see this goes so it knows that I'm trying to get the quarter in there. Equals, I'm going to go back up here, touch that one, and I've got 3, and go to the bottom, the denominator, 4. So I've got that one. So lots of ways of using this. It's not a calculator, but it's a way to keep a student organized, and you can do some scaffolding with it. If I wanted to put in another one, so I'm going to click here and say, so it takes me back to my main menu. I'm going to hit this special character. So let me just go back. I'm hitting this special character, and the fractions is right here. So there's fractions, and then it gives me those lines. So I could make those again 1/8 plus, I'm hitting 1/16 equals, so I would put that in as the teacher, and then I would probably, the student could put those lines in for the between the denominator and the numerator, or you could scaffold that with as the teacher. Some of the settings I just want to go through briefly just to let you know some of the things that are available. There's a way that you can save things. So you can save. This is where you could do your in-app purchases. This is basically going to give you zoom in, zoom out. This one, we're just going to click on that one, gives you the 100 board. So if your student needs that for a scaffold, you would have that. And we're going to close it down here in the lower right-hand corner. And then this is a number line. So you've got a number line that you could use if your student needs that. And we're going to close that. And then this is where you could upload things. So you can save things or you can upload. And then this is your settings menu, of course. And this is where you can use a different keyboard. So you've got your teacher keyboard is going to be a little more extensive. And let's just take a peek at that. So you've got a few more things on here. Keys are smaller, but you've got more of the functions on that. So assuming that the teacher has good motor control, they can make their presentations and make up the problems a little quicker. Let's go back, and I'm just going to go to more and the settings menu. And this is kind of a fun one, your different skins that you can have in the background. So you've got camo, pink bubblegum. I tried that one and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is going to drive me bonkers. And then the blue electric. So you've got some fun things that your students can try. Key sounds, you can't hear it on your end probably, but I've got the key sound on, and so it's giving me information that I've actually hit the keys. Different fonts, there's a casual, a marker felt clock. I'll just show you the clock real quick and go back to home and back to our document. And so it's changed the font, so it's kind of this is called clock font, and it's kind of fun. Another way to get to the menu are these three dots along the in the lower left hand corner. That's going to give you the menu as well, so you can get to settings a little quicker. Hold time is so that you can move your finger around a little, and some kids need to stabilize their finger, and then they have to hold it for up to, let's see, hold time, excuse me, from 0.1 second up to 5 seconds. Wow, that's going to be a lot of holding before it's going to take your number. And then predictive cursor. So a few of the settings, I'm not going to go through the rest of them, but it's a fun app. It's just $20, and I think it could be useful for a lot of our kiddos. So